Good evening, everybody. It is another edition of Eye to Eye Live. Welcome back. This is our weekly Disney Hangout. Well, I say weekly, we haven't done this in 2 weeks. I cannot believe it has been that long. So thank you, whether you joining us for the first time tonight or you have been here several times in the past to one of our regular videos or other live streams or this particular live stream that we do usually on every single Monday night. Right now, while we're all dealing with COVID-19 and everything that's going on with that, I will be only doing this on a bi-weekly basis because of some crazy work schedule stuff that I have. I almost went live last week to talk about this very subject because I was really excited about it, but I'm thankful that I waited, not to make myself too tired, but also because we've got some more news to go along with it today. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. But as you come in, even if you're watching this on the replay, please do make sure if you're enjoying this, you smash that like button. It really does help the stream out and to push it out to more people. So thank you for doing that. I got a couple of familiar faces already popping in live, so I want to say hello to them. Orlando Mike, good to see you, my friend. So before you dive into the movie, here I can actually bring you guys up on the stream here. Have you listened to Doc Capella's new version of Eye to Eye? I have. I like it, Orlando Mike, but have you seen Peter Holland's collaboration with, what was his name? He did a Goofy movie in real life, and they sang a smash up of Eye to Eye and Stand Out. That's the bomb. I'm sorry. It's too good. So there's that. Yeah, I've checked it out. It's really good. So there's a lot of good things that came out last week with the 25th anniversary. We even did a 25th anniversary trivia special on a Goofy movie last week. If you missed that, you can watch the replay as well. It's over on our channel. Disney time is here. I can't stay. I have to do schoolwork. Well, thank you for stopping in, though, Disney time. We really do appreciate that. Hope to see you at trivia night. Captain Akron is here. What? Akron. Come on, Kyle. Get your words the other night. 2 weeks from our last show, and it's like I've forgotten how to talk. All right, so the premise of this show tonight is it's just a hangout. I'm here live to be with you all to talk about what you want to talk about. I have a topic prepared for us to kind of use as our discussion starting point or whatever point there is to help us drive the discussion tonight. And this is a discussion. I would love to hear from you in the comments. That's how I can interact with you and know who's here chatting. So ask questions, make comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on topics. If there's something else that's pertinent Disney-wide that you really would like to discuss, bring it up. This is really meant to be a free-form, do what you like kind of show. Whatever is on board for talking about tonight is what we're going to talk about. Orlando Mike says, I think I've seen that, but now my opinion is the original version of Eye to Eye sung by Tevin Campbell as Powerline will always be the best version. I mean, come on, how do you beat the original? Look, I loved the live action Lion King, but it still lacks what the original does for me. I mean, the live action lacks what the original does. If I said that right, I can't remember. But yes, Powerline, Tevin Campbell. Although if you've not watched some of the YouTube videos with Tevin Campbell now, you can definitely tell he's lost a bit of that edge he had in terms of how high he could go on some of those notes. And I don't say that to ridicule him in any way. It sometimes is evident that he's lost some of that ability to do what he could with Eye to Eye back in the day. I just noticed something fell down off my props here. You notice, so we redid our background and we were going to have more bookshelves right here on the side, so you stop seeing this bare wall right here. We were about to ready to devise some bookshelves, but all this happened. So I at least cleaned all of it up for you if you weren't here on trivia night. I know it still looks pretty cluttered, but I promise you this is a lot better than it was. Just you can't see the bottom shelf down here. Don't worry about it. It's ridiculous. But it's a little bit more organized. I put away about 60-something pops that aren't out on the shelf now. So only the special ones are out here now. Not the ones that I like the most are out here. All right, so My topic tonight, again, I'm going to roll with this, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. But if you have something else that you'd like to discuss, chime in at any point, whether it's on topic or not. The main thing that I want to discuss tonight is the Disney movie move dates due to COVID-19. And it's not just affecting Disney, it's affecting everybody. I mean, and that's part of the challenge, isn't it? It's part of who can grab what date that makes the most sense to squeeze this movie that was perfectly placed 3-4 years ago on this date to match up with this holiday or this date on the calendar that would ensure they'd get the best bang for their buck. And now they're all left scrambling trying to pick up the scraps. So that's what I want to hit right now. Orlando says Tevin was so much younger when he did it. He was older than that, so it's probably tougher on his vocal cords. But I love the video of him singing it live from the Goofy movie 20th. Yes, I've watched that one. Even if it's not like his best performance of it, it is still like the feeling that you get of all them being together, the cast, Tevin to sing the songs. That's pretty awesome stuff right there. But anyway, Disney movie dates. We already started off track. Hey, that's the point of the show, man. It's just about having fun and being together especially during these times like this. All right, so Disney movie dates. A lot has happened. Like I mentioned, I'd wanted to do this last week, even though I've said I'm only going to do every other week during this weird work schedule stuff. But I'm glad I waited because we got more information this morning. And Monday is always the big news cycle day. It's sometimes Tuesday, but Monday you get all the news things. Things are announced. Trailers come out a lot. It's crazy sometimes. So today they announced officially that Soul, the Pixar second film of the year, first was Onward. If you haven't seen it, it's great. We've got some reviews up for that if you want to go check those out. It is now being pushed back to November. And I have a list we're going to go through here in just a second. And then it was also revealed that Raya the Last Dragon was moved to early 2021. So a lot of things to consider with that. You know, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing for those particular movies? In general, I want to start off with a statement. Let me get a little sip of this water. My throat's a little tired tonight. But I really want us to discuss tonight, obviously, each of these movies that got moved around and how they fall in line with everything else. But I want to bring this up to you tonight. I'm of the opinion, again, this is not me trying to, I keep taking like asides here. This is not me trying to negate in any way the seriousness of what's been going on and what everybody's dealing with. But I think in terms of Disney movies, I know it creates scheduling problems, and yes, they're lacking in money that those movies would have been bringing in on these particular weekends. I thought that this year, especially when you compare it to last year's mega movie box office phenomenon, when you had Lion King, Aladdin, Star Wars Episode 9, you had Avengers Endgame thrown in there, you had Spider-Man thrown in there. How do you top that year? This year was just very lacking outside of, I mean, Onward turned out to be a great one, but outside of Mulan, Black Widow, and Eternals, there wasn't a lot of hype out there for other movies. So I think that in some way this was not a blessing, but it could end up working in Disney's favor in terms of kind of giving them a break on a year where it could have been a little bit lackadaisical, so to speak. Yes, they're lacking money, but at the same time, I think it was going to be good. Let's see what you guys are saying. Moving Jungle Book, you mean Jungle Cruise, so far back again stinks. That movie looks awesome. Here's the thing I hate about it for Jungle Cruise. That movie's been pushed back already twice now, I think. And so now they're forced to again push it back for circumstances they couldn't help. So I just got to think, I had the feeling that this, and I know it's kind of divisive here, Pirates of the Caribbean fan, are you or are you not, that they could have something on their hands franchise-wise with the Jungle Cruise, just like Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's lost a lot of steam now, and so I'm kind of sad that might affect chances of getting a sequel, a threequel. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but just some thoughts there. Orlando Mike, I'm looking most forward to Black Widow, the Obi-Wan Disney Plus series, season 2 of Mandalorian, and the Rogue One Disney Plus series. So basically, you're excited about Disney Plus outside of Black Widow. Hey, I'm excited for all those things, man. There's not much that I'm not excited for. I will tell you that one of the remaining movies on this year, the one and only Ivan, I just don't have a lot of context for it, so I'm not super excited for that one, if I'm really, really honest. But I wasn't super excited for Onward, but that turned out to be a lot better than I thought. So, I think there's other things to be excited about that could have been this year. I'm a nut when it comes to Star Wars timeline, so I want to see where these new Star Wars Disney Plus series will fit in. I think it's going to be a lot. Obviously, when you say that, I know you pretty much mean that we know the general area of where they fall. Obi-Wan's going to fall before Episode 4. I mean, it's kind of hard for him to continue minus the Force Ghost after Episode 4. #spoilers. It's also probably going to fall right after. I get the feeling it's going to be off-world from Tatooine, bouncing around, so to speak. So I think it'll probably heavily involve Darth Maul. They're really trying to prop up Darth Maul as like the marquee villain for everything that's not in the movies. He's really found his place. What was it? 20 years later, pretty much. So there you go on that one. Do you think Ewan McGregor will reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi for Disney Plus series, or do you think they'll cast someone else? My understanding is that he's already been cast. And maybe that's not official. Especially if they're going to tell an Obi-Wan film right after Episode 3, between Episodes 3 and 4, and maybe right after Episode 3. I think he fits the look. I mean, why wouldn't you use him unless you can't agree on terms? I guess that's my thought. Why wouldn't you use Ewan McGregor? Why wouldn't you? That's the whole point of doing that series, is because everybody loved this. As much as the prequel series divided everybody, the one thing that we all agreed on was Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ewan McGregor was the best choice there. Disney has been hit or miss with movies based on attractions. The first Pirates films were amazing. Haunted Mansion, that one's rough, man. That's poor old Eddie Murphy. That's a rough one there. I think Disney wants another franchise to kind of rise up, and I think Jungle Cruise, led with Emily Blunt and The Rock, I think would do very well in that format. So that's just my opinions on it. I think it's great. So let me bring it up real quick. And again, we're going to be on for about another 15 minutes or so. These are usually short form discussions because of my schedule, but I love hanging out with you guys. All right, so right now, this is the schedule for 2020 that is left. And I think everything's been moved now, because when these were first announced last weekend, I think it was, they still left out was Soul going to be in its place, but now it looks like they've had to decide to move it. So here's your schedule for 2020. Mulan on July 24th. The one and only Ivan on August the 14th. Black Widow on the 6th of November, and then Soul on November 20th. So of the remaining movies for 2020, which one are you most excited for? I think you've got three very good or three highly anticipated movies. To what degree you anticipate them is your mileage may vary compared to who you are. But for me personally, I'm most excited about Black Widow. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I want to see the Taskmaster. We've been waiting to see him. Had it snatched right out from under us. I'd then be excited for Mulan and what they're going to do there. But I'll tell you what, my sleeper really is that Soul picture. I think they're going to do some interesting things with it. I love Jamie Foxx. So the fact that he's going to be starring in that is really, 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 really got me excited. And then, like I told you already, the one and only Ivan, I just don't have a lot of hype for it. There's not been a lot of push for it. Disney always has one of these I won't call them a throwaway film every year. I hate saying that, but it is the one that hardly anyone goes to. Sometimes it's a Disney nature film. See, now I think they finally found their niche for that on Disney Plus. By the way, if you haven't seen Dolphins and Elephant, you need to go see it. Dolphin Reef and Elephant. You need to go watch that. We've got reviews of everything for you. Not everything, but a lot of the things. If you want to go see that. Most of the reviews we do a 3 reasons to watch, which is spoiler free, and then we do a spoilers review. For the Disney Nature, Dolphin Reef, and Elephant one, we did a combination, but we give you a clear warning, spoilers after this point. And you can't really spoil a documentary, but there may be some things that people are like, well, I wish you hadn't told me. I want to experience that myself. So that's why we give the warning. I know it's a little redundant. All right, let's see. Disney Mike, or Orlando Mike, says, I have an entire spreadsheet with the entire Star Wars timeline with the films, cartoon shows, Disney Plus, literal dates. You might have to share that with me because I was researching that the other night. So that's pretty cool that you did that. And because I was bored, I made a spreadsheet for the character ages. You've got some time on your hand, Mike, don't you? That's pretty cool, though. Mulan, I'm 50-50 on it because it doesn't have the songs, doesn't have Mushu. They changed the character names, added different characters, not in the animated film. They changed too much. I could talk about this forever, but I got to condense it here. I'm with you on that point to a certain degree, but I'm also not with you, if I may tread that line as accurately as possible and be just a flip-flopper there. The Lion King, I think, is a good example here. They did such a close beat-for-beat remake that on some moments where they tried to be too new, it didn't land, and I think that's why it didn't do as well as it did great, but I think it could have done even better. So if you're going to do a live action remake, you either need to do something completely different and tell a different story like Maleficent, which I think are very good films. Both of them, I think. Actually, I like the second one the better, the more I think about it, yeah. Or you need to do a beat for beat remake, a la Beauty and the Beast. Now, that doesn't mean you can't add in your own little different flavors and things like that, add a little bit to the story, which all the live action movies have done. But I think, I hate that Mushu's not there. I hate that we're probably not going to get the actual words to the song, I Make a Man Out of You. But I think it's still going to be good, especially since they're going to, make it a little bit more historically accurate, get more into the Chinese culture. I think it's going to, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm optimistic. Now, granted, I'm a half glass, half full type of person, so I tend to be optimistic about things. But that's just me. Orlando Mike, with the live action remakes on Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, they changed some things but stayed true to the original films. Mulan, I feel like they went overboard with changes. Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a very fair point. I think that this is the other extreme, but I think that's what's going to lend it to be successful. And here's the thing. This is not a movie made simply for the American audience. This is a movie made for China. And they have to make sure that the people want to go see it. So there you go. It's a huge market. He says, however, the cinematography, the action, the costumes, all of that looks amazing from Mulan, and that's going to draw you. So see, look, as long as you can go in, and that's my one thing is I could have, perfect example for me. We went and saw A Wrinkle in Time. It was a book I'd never read, never saw the original film. I went into it with no notions, and trying to be positive about it. Didn't like it, but the worst film, Disney film that I've seen in about 4 years. But it was not good, and I just tried to be positive about things. So, so it's always interesting. Sometimes YouTube pushes this out to everybody. And sometimes it doesn't. It's really weird. Like some nights you come in here and I can't keep up with the comments. Other nights it's like it's just me and you. Pamela's here though. What's going on? And a lot of people too are just getting off work. Those that are still working, like Pamela, and she's, by the way, working in the retail grocery business. So thank her for helping keep us all fed during this pandemic. But yeah, so that's kind of what happens sometimes. Sometimes YouTube doesn't share it out. Sometimes people are just busy. But that's why we're here, is that if you want to get on and chat with me, this is the place for you. All right, let's go through some of the other move dates. Again, on that list, the ones that were moved were Mulan was moved to July. Black Widow was moved from May. Can't remember. Basically moved to November, early November, and now Soul is moved basically to the Thanksgiving type of area there. I feel like Black Widow is going to eat up some of the attention Soul would get if I would have been Disney. Again, there are other movies to compete with. I would have moved Soul to Christmas, especially since you moved Raya. But there you go. I don't know how all that stuff works out there. Let's see. However, bringing up the wrong thing. I've never seen any of the Wrinkle in Time movies. I just couldn't do it. I felt it didn't have the same draw for me as other Disney films. Yeah. It. I would always say everybody needs to watch the film themselves, but you're not going to get a good recommendation from me on that one. I hope that Mulan doesn't get pushed back too far, as I'm a cashier at Jewel, Kyle. Oh, there you go. Okay. That a little bit more clarification for me. But yeah, it's not going to get pushed back any further, I don't think. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and comment on... Well, I'm going to comment, but... Again, I'm a very optimistic person. I think we are on the upside, or about to be on the other side of this thing, meaning on the downslope of things. And I think you can see that by Disney being willing to commit to opening their parks maybe in June. The movie's getting pushed back to July at the earliest. We're close. I mean, we're getting close to the culmination of this. And I'm just optimistic, but there you go. Yeah, July is not that bad, so it shouldn't be shouldn't be too far back. Hope they don't push back the Avatar sequels back. It's scheduled for 2021 and 2023. I think they're going to do everything in their power to maintain those tentpole films, because you're going to be alternating Avatar and Star Wars for 6 years, essentially. Actually, 7 years. 6 years. I can't remember. But yeah, so I do think that that they're going to try to keep those in place as best they can. Now referencing back to the Maleficent comment, I love those movies. Angelina did so well bringing a new emotional, soft, but also tough, gritty edge to Maleficent. Did she need to be more gritty? She was pretty gritty in the original, though. I just loved that they took a story. And by the way, I don't know if you can tell, my hair is just a hot mess. Not only am I losing hair, but it's like accentuated by how thick this stuff is on the back and side. And the more I look at it, it just makes me sick. I'm going on tangents a lot tonight. I'm sorry. But yes, Maleficent, I think, was one that needed, the Sleeping Beauty story needed a little bit of fleshing out, and that was a good one to do it on. Love your pause. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I do my best. It's not easy sometimes, but I do my best. If you want a moderator, I volunteer as tribute. Oh, excellent, Orlando Mike. I didn't know that you'd be willing to do that. Well, yeah. I know D. Hazel is oftentimes... if I can remember to do that, I will set you up for that. I appreciate that. We have D. Hazel as a moderator, but I usually don't see her on our Monday night ones. As you can tell, my Monday night stream is just sometimes all over the place. That's why I've just kind of not really organized it all that much. But all right, really quickly, we are got about 5 minutes or so left before I need to go. 2021, I'll just go over the ones that have moved and not go through the whole list. But I think they're going to build a lot of steam in 2021. The Eternals, February 12th, 2021. Raya and the Last Dragon, which was in December. Yes, December this year. Is moved back as well to March 12th. Shang-Chi was moved to May 7th. Jungle Cruise to July 30th. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was moved back to November 5th. And then you got Avatar, but wasn't moved, but just since we talked about it earlier. And then Thor, Love, and Thunder was moved back to 2022 for February 18th. Thor has always come out in November, so I'm kind of disappointed that it won't have that November slot, but you got to kind of do what you can. Also, we had Black Panther 2 and Captain Marvel 2 announced a couple of weeks ago. So that's kind of filling some things out for what to expect. Listen, I think one movie that's going to suffer because of this is Raya and the Last Dragon. I think the fact that it was sitting kind of all by itself in the Christmas season this year originally was going to really help it. But at the same time, you got to do what you just got to do here because it's smashed between the Eternals and Shang-Chi. How do you compete with that? Granted, they're all in a different month, and then Shang-Chi is about 2 months after Raya, so maybe it won't get affected too much there. Pamela said she loves the Maleficent movies. The original Maleficent was definitely gritty, but seeing Maleficent battling with her emotions and letting them fuel her made her stronger. Can't wait to find out the theme. I do not have the theme ready yet this week. I'm not ready to commit to it. It's been a long week for me before this. I still got to tally up y'all's points and everything like that. By the way, Orlando Mike, I don't know if you've been to one of our trivia nights. Maybe you have. I think I've seen you there. But it's Thursday, 7:15. Pamela, Little Mermaid is always on the table for trivia nights. But if you haven't noticed, I try to correlate it with something significant that's happening. A movie coming out, a anniversary, a national day of the year, like when we did National Dog Day, we did Disney Dogs. So I try to kind of, the reason I do it that way, I'll pull the curtain back for everybody a little bit, is to allow for us to not kind of run over topics too much. And if we do too broad of ones, sometimes I'll forget that we did and we'll do a trivia night twice. But there you go. Now, would you judge me if I said I haven't seen Onward yet? Yes. Do you have Disney Plus? Do you have Disney Plus? If you do and you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing with your life? Yes, Orlando Mike, I'm judging you. No, just look, I know everybody, there's a lot going on right now. You may not have Disney Plus, but do yourself a favor. I connected with, I pulled the curtain back some more. I lost my dad a few years back, and it's a father and son story, and, about losing their dad. So really, really, that ending, man, got a little dusty in that room. Couldn't stand it. But yeah, there you go. It's hard to think how many people will want to go back to theaters this year. Who knows? I think that's a great point, Captain Akron. We'll kind of wrap up here. I'll go through, again, rapid fire questions, comments. You can bring them in as we'll kind of wind out our night here. Yeah, I get everybody's concerns. My encouragement to everybody is to take responsibility. Wash your hands now. Even after all this, wash your hands. Be aware of where you're coughing. If you're sick, stay home with anything. This will have a heightened aware of self-responsibility, but my hope is that we will not act in fear. That never produces good results in any situation. So we need to be brave, and we need to help our society get back to normal. And one of the ways we can do that is going back to support these movies in theaters. So that would be my encouragement to everybody who may be experiencing those fears out there. Let me put it to you this way. And again, I don't want to come across as using this situation just to make a point, but how many theater shootings did we have, leading up to all of this? I mean, it felt like there was at least one every 2 years or so, and there were some big ones. There's always, threats like that, but does it force you not? Did you not go? So think about it that way. And I hate to bring the tone down a little bit, but there's always danger, and you're always risking your life, no matter what these days. But you can't act in fear. You can be smart, you can be responsible, but you can't act in fear. All right, I'll get off. This is my soapbox. I'm putting it down. That's enough. Pamela's Mike says he's excited for the Little Mermaid live action. No, I meant the release date of the remake. I didn't see that one. Maybe I just don't remember it. I do have Disney Plus. I've been on Once Upon a Time right now, Lucifer Binge Fest. We're still on Netflix. There's a lot to be watching right now, so just put it on your to-do list and do it fast. There you go. Love the perspective, Pamela. Not panicking, trusting in God. I know He's in control. Excellent. Whether you believe that or not, I do personally. I know He's in control, but we can always be smart. There you go. He gave us a mind to think and be smart for ourselves. Just do that. All right. Besides all that, thank you all so much for being here tonight. I really, really, really do appreciate that. I will not be here next Monday, barring some huge, big announcement that I just have to talk about. But next Monday we'll be back. But trivia night is every Thursday night, no matter what, at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. Please come hang out with us. We'd love to see you there. And you may want to be paying attention to our channel very closely soon. I might be announcing some new project that I've been working on. I keep teasing it, but I'm really, really, really excited about it. So that's just a little bit of tease for you. Thank you all for being here tonight. Until we assemble again, may the force be with you, and we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.